Welcome back to another night of the Couch Cooperative. I am your Dungeon Master, and we are here to continue our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Adventure of the Storm King Thunder. We do not have any major announcements. We do have one small announcement. That as we are getting close to finishing up the Storm King's Thunder, we are getting closer and closer to the end of our adventure. Which, while the time length of these adventures are going to start to feel quite similar throughout all the pre-written adventures that we will play, if we feel the need to have any space in between adventures to give us some more room to prepare, we're going to be hosting some amazing one-shots, which our player, Katray, has wonderfully accepted the ability to one-shot a Call of Cthulhu game. So we will play. We don't have any of the official stuff determined. We don't know this. We don't know the scenario. We don't know the date. But just know that that is a small announcement that you should look forward to it. And if you are available, we will also post that one shot if we can do it in the entire night directly to our YouTube. So I'll make sure that we can do that. So that'll be fun. Without further ado, let us go ahead and begin. So, last we left off, our adventurers, the Peacekeepers, a growingly heroic gathering of people who do not so good things, have been scouring the small portions of the Savage Frontier in hopes of finding some way of fulfilling this prophetic calling to restructure the Ordning, a divine hierarchy imposed by the god Anon, the Allfather of the Giants, progenitor of the Giants, to restructure the order with which the different giant kind array themselves. It's been shattered due to their inactivity in the Draconic War 2 years prior. However, you know that King Hecaton is missing. and that the only way to get to his court is to find a magical conch. This conch is supposed to bring you directly to the king's court, the court of the Storm King. It is located with the Cloud Giants, held in the metaphorical hands of Countess Sonsuri, a Cloud Giant who rules in the floating castle of Armall. You would spend some time after running away, almost losing your lives in the flight from the Eye of the Allfather, having to leave behind 2 of your party who stood behind to fend off the ancient blue dragon Imrith, who you heard about from the Oracle, who seems to know of you and what you seek to do. You journeyed on an airship gifted to you by a red dragon named Clout. Its crew, led by Captain Delphine, brought you to an ancient burial mound, a sacred location to the Uthgard tribe of the Elk, known as Flint Rock. There, you were able to move the altar that rested upon its heart, the heart of the elk, I would say, and found a mithril spear tip underneath, with directions to Armall. You departed quite quickly. And we left off with you arriving at the castle, the floating castle of Armall. And this is where we will begin. The castle is grand. It is multiple layers, and all in these circular, these large circular platforms. There's a massive tower that rests at the top of it, and a dome, this kind of like glass, like blue glass dome that is directly in the center at the very top platform. You decided to not land on any of the platforms, but to land just outside the gatehouse, where there was clouds, solid clouds that you could land upon, which you did. So as the ship is descending, the 4 of you are above deck, looking at this castle get closer and closer to fruition. One thing catches your attention, actually quite quickly, because it seems to ascend from the clouds on the opposite side of the causeway. You see at first a dark blue tip. It catches you kind of uniquely off guard. It breaks through the clouds, pointy, and as it continues to ascend, you start to see it spiral in a crooked pattern. Stars and celestial bodies, moons, suns, kind of arrayed on this tip, which is very apparent, is a roof. It begins to ascend until you see the shaft of a massive tower. A stone tower. A tower you've seen before. The Tower of Zephyros. It seems to just kind of like, it's keeping in line with the castle of Armall. It's a unique surprise. You know that Zephyros is distant from his kind, and as you depart from the airship, with Delphine and the crew kind of just remaining on standby, you notice that the large gatehouse is beginning to open. And there are 2 giants that are walking from it. One of which is the old, wizened benefactor of your adventure, Zephyros himself. He's walking out with kind of his hands tucked into his robe, so they're kind of together. And he holds himself with a countenance that you have not seen him before. Very noble. It befits some sense of royalty in terms of respect. The person that walks behind him and off to the side is an armored cloud giant. The armor has a brighter glow to it, so they use a lot of mithril. Has a brighter glow to it. Seems to be a bit more lightweight in terms of its appearance, and his forearms and his biceps are completely exposed. So his arms, just his torso is covered, and then kind of like the upper mid half of his legs, so you can see like kind of the lower half of his thighs, his knees, all the way down. He has these more ceremonial looking like sandals that equip to these leathered. It looks like a mixture between sandals and boots. Would be the best way of describing it. He is helmeted, and his helmet covers over a large portion of his face, making it not too visible, but he seems to carry a sternness to him that you can only see through his eyes. As Zephyros leaves, they go through the threshold, they get closer and closer to you as you guys are kind of walking up slowly, ascending now onto stone. You see he looks down at you, and with kind of a smile, a little bit of a warm, fostered care is very present, and little ones, my heart warms to see you here. And yet, good luck.
Can I insight that?
You may.
15.
15. You can tell that his hesitation is in the effort to pent out a bit of frustration, but not do so because of who he's standing in front of.
Okay.
So he's biting his tongue. I have things that I need to attend to. I am not able to stay. The best of luck to you. May you need it. And always look to the clouds for guidance. And he continues to walk down the steps and...
Can I say something to him before he goes?
Sure.
It was an honor to meet you.
I hope we meet again.
I hope as well.
And he crosses over to his tower, opens the door to it, enters in, closes the door behind him. The giant who's been standing by the gatehouse has kind of allowed that entire encounter to happen, and then his arms have been crossed. He's got a lightweight sword kind of at his side. He's not heavily armed at the current moment, but he is a giant.